Danny and Steve Sports Guys. I'm Steve along with Danny,
What's
and
good,
we're going to
guys?
start it on NFL news about the proposal.
The NFL, the CBA proposal from the owners, I believe, or the commissioner, or whatnot. I have some of the terms here, not all. Those are the rankings. There we go. Can you lower the mics a bit potentially as well? My ears are just a tad. There you go. Thank you. I'm sorry if that was blaring. That's his fault. I'm
It's
kidding.
not. I mean, I just put it up to the tape, so the tape is in the wrong spot.
The tape needs to be re-put because it's kind of coming off of it. But anyway, so for those that don't know, every so often, in order for a league to run, the players and the owners need to agree on a deal, and this is known as the CBA deal. The CBA, and the owners proposed to expand the regular season from 16 games to 17 games, and the players' revenue, which is originally 48% of the revenue, will climb up to the eventual point of 48.5. So it'll go up 0.5. It could net the players added $5 billion in total, and this would also change the playoff setup to, instead of 12 teams now, right? It's 12.
Yeah, it's current 12.
Currently 12.
And
It would add two more teams.
Right.
So then only one team would receive a first round bye.
Right.
Which and then baseball is the one where it's picked to play, right?
Baseball? Well, that was the proposal. I hope that doesn't go through.
Yeah, that was the baseball one, not the football one. The football one, the rosters would also increase from 53 to 55, and then 48 players would be able to dress the games instead of 46. The practice squad would rise from 12 to 14, and the rookie salaries will increase by $100 million.
Wait, hold up.
100,000.
Yeah, let's just clarify that. 100 million is like Russell Wilson type money.
Yeah, that's my fault. I've had a long day today. I'm sorry, but before we get into, I guess the main outcry from the fans' standpoint is that the new playoff structure is pretty bad. All the fans seem to be in favor of an extra game, because who doesn't want more football? There wouldn't be an extra bye week either. I'm assuming you would like another week, correct?
Absolutely. As an NFL fan, I don't see why anyone would not want an extra game at the end of the regular season. That's not the problem.
The problem with the fans is that adding an extra playoff game is a bit unnecessary. So making it two wild card teams in each conference.
Right. It's not that the extra game is a problem, in my opinion. It's that teams that don't deserve to be in the playoffs are going to get in the playoffs. That's what I have a problem with.
And I agree with that. I mean, it still happens anyway, occasionally, like every so often, because obviously nothing's perfect. Like, for example, the 7-9 Panthers, or the 7-9 or 7-1. The point is they're under 500 and made the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if it was expanded to 7 teams in each conference, the teams that would have gotten into the playoffs this year are the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And no one wants to see the Rams get walloped by
Green Bay,
and no one also wants to see the Chiefs absolutely wallop even more the Steelers. I really think I mean, obviously every given Sunday, but I feel like at that point, it's just so unnecessary.
It's not even like, obviously nobody wants to see them get walloped. Who just to say that team is going to get walloped, but the chances are high.
The chances are very high, and neither team really deserves to get into the playoffs, to be quite honest with you.
Yes, that's true. Also, just focus on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh clearly does not have playoff talent on the roster, so there's no way they should be a playoff team.
I mean, they have playoff coaching, but but they are not a playoff team by any means.
Right, they were 8-8. They were clearly not. Like the Rams, you could argue a little bit more. 9-7, they picked it up toward the end of the season, but they still lost to the Cowboys. That's just disgrace. Turn it off.
But that's not the problem with the players. The players all voted no, or for the most part, the Players Association, they voted no. But what they wanted more money for the extra game, which I think makes sense. I mean, I don't really know the logistics of it, but I feel like a 0.5% increase isn't enough for another game, especially actually for another 2 games technically, because it'd be another playoff game. I feel like it should be more, and I also don't think it should be 17 playoffs. I think it should be 6.
As I agree.
It usually is.
Fully agree.
But the players are speaking out against it, and they have voted no. And yeah, like there's really not that much to it. I mean, I hope all we can hope for right now is that there isn't another lockout,
Right.
and that would be a problem.
Well, I mean, the players that spoke out that I saw speak out were Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, and they're obviously going to be against this. I'm also against this, but they're obviously going to be against it because when they get in the playoffs, they're always like a high seed. They're toward the top, and when they don't get in the playoffs, they're missing by a lot. So they're not gonna want that extra team that's like kind of mediocre in the playoffs.
Yes, and the other players to speak out against it were Russell Wilson, as you said, Aaron Rodgers, as you said. Richard Sherman also spoke against it, and so did J.J. Watt. Those are just some of the names. Like J.J. Watt tweeted hard no on that proposal, and then Richard Sherman tweeted, "Leadership, I am with you. Please communicate with your team rep."
Exactly.
And who else said this? And I think Diggs, Quinn, someone Nino Q Diggs 6 on Twitter. I don't know who that is on Twitter. I can check. He's apparently on the he's apparently an NFL player, but I don't know. But he's
0% lucky and 100% blessed.
Yeah, apparently. Shout out to you. I mean, I could be having a brain fart, so that could be one of them. But there's more than just the CBA. The combine starting this week, as everyone knows. And one of the things that made headlines, which I thought was pretty funny because to me doesn't make any sense that much, is they're trying to make a big deal, as they always do, because they always have to find something to write about.
Oh, about Joe Burrow's
hand size being only 9 inches.
Yeah.
First of all,
mine are only like 7.
Yeah, I thought apparently I have bigger hands than usual, and does this look like 9 inches to you? Here, I'll put this up to this will be pretty funny actually. Hold on. Does this look like 9 inches to you? That look like 9 to you or no? Yeah, Steven.
Yeah, you might have 9 inches, but
like
you have big hands though.
Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, because mine are like 7 inches.
Yeah,
I have small hands. I'm aware I have small hands, but like saying 9 inches is small hands.
That's not small hands to me. I feel like that's fine. And like even like Patrick Mahomes said, apparently he had small hands as well. And look what he's doing.
He had barely over 9. That's what I said. I was like, small hands doesn't make a difference. And there was quarterbacks with huge hands, like EJ Manuel. How did he work out with his 10 3/4 inch hands?
It's ridiculous. He had massive hands. But like I find it so funny because every single year, because they try to screw over the number 1 pick every single year with the slightest thing possible. Like they tried saying that Joe Burrow didn't want to play for the Bengals, which I mean he might not want to, but he openly said, "I don't care where I play." And they do that every single year. They also they do anything they can with the draft. Like they said last year with Kyler Murray, "You're too small." Drew Brees is also small, but Kyler Murray can run. They said before with like Baker Mayfield. I mean, some of these things turn out to be true, some of them don't. But they do everything they can to like just kind of mess up the number 1 pick's chance of being the number 1 pick and whatnot. And to me, it's a bit unfair.
Yeah, I mean, there was a report that came out that he had like the smallest hand since 2008 to be in the first round. Or something like that.
Who cares?
People don't realize that they were saying the same thing about Jared Goff when he was drafted at number 1 overall. His hand size was barely over 9 inches. It was like,
I mean, well, Jared Goff's
but he's still better.
He's a starting quarterback.
Right.
He's not awful.
He hasn't been a bust to this point.
He hasn't been a bust. He's overpaid and he's just
right. He's for now.
He is at the very least to me. Like I've been on record bashing Jared Goff a lot. You've been the opposite, but I've been bashing him. But
I did bash him this year.
You bashed him this year. But I would say he's absolutely a starting caliber quarterback in this league. Like that's that. Right. I feel like that's not a debate.
He's a top 20 QB in this.
Which
NFL.
That's 100% agree. I mean, granted, you want more than that, the number 1 pick, but I wouldn't say he's a bust.
Right. You know? There's plenty of EJ Manuel. Let's just go back to EJ Manuel. Like where was he after he got drafted in the first round? He was nowhere to be seen.
Exactly. He's awful. He's terrible. That was can I just say that was like the worst quarterback draft ever. Me and Liam, shout out to you, Liam. We were looking at this the other day. I think was it Liam? We were talking about how bad this quarterback draft. Like it was like him. The highlighting quarterbacks of that draft were EJ Manuel and Geno Smith.
Oh man.
Yeah, those are the first 2 taken off the board. Those are the only 2 like notable ones, which is like yeesh. But yeah, like and also Chase Young also opted out of performing some of the drills, and so did Joe Burrow.
I 100% support them. There's nothing to
nothing
go
but-
but down
Yeah.
from there. Do not do those drills.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, as much as I'd like to see them do those drills because I love watching the combine and seeing how they do, it's a good business decision for them because, quite frankly, like you can only go down. They're the clear cut 1 and 2. They're both going to go 1 and 2. I'm assuming that nothing happens, like no injuries or whatnot, and they'll probably show what they got at the pro day. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree, 100%. I don't think it's that big of a deal that they're opting out of this at all. It's not like, see, if I were to make an argument for a college player sitting out, like Nick Bosa over there sitting out Ohio State, that's a completely different story.
He's doing fine now, though.
Yeah, but I still don't like him.
I
Like
know.
that's just bad for the Ohio State fans. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to agree on this, but
yeah,
you should always play through college. I don't care about. I mean, I understand there's financial like later in life to get to the NFL and stuff like that, but like
you think you should play.
Yes,
and that's fine. Like we've argued about this in the past. Like
right.
we're
But
never gonna agree on
sitting out this is not the same as that at all.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
agree.
exactly.
And another thing I'd like to add, like if it was like, who's an example? If it was like Jerry Jeudy that sat out of these drills, that would be like someone like that that's not supposed to go, like that could go from anywhere from like 5 to like 15. If someone like him sat out of the combine, to me that's a concern.
Yes, also because wide receivers are huge.
The wide receivers are huge in the draft this year, so like,
exactly.
There's no like you can argue Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb is the clear cut number 1, but there's other wide receivers that also could be really really good. Obviously not as good as them two because I think those two are the premier ones.
Mhm.
But based on like I guess scouting, but who knows what happens.
Right, and then if one of them doesn't show up, like say he has like a really bad speed in like the 40-yard dash or something like that's going to be concern for a wide receiver because speed is important for
it's
a wide
very
receiver.
important. I mean, it's not everything. Just look at John Ross. But
yes,
you need
need hands.
You need hands. You need route running. You need footwork and whatnot.
Right, but speed's a huge factor.
Speed is ridiculously huge. Speed is very very important.
Like if Joe Burrow, for example, did a horrible 40-yard dash, I'm still not concerned. The guy's elite pocket passer.
Yeah, exactly. He's a quarterback. You know. Well, we're on it. Well, I feel like as long as you don't need to be fast, I've kind of learned this. You just need to know how to move in the pocket.
Right.
If you can, like, you don't need to like be like Russell Wilson, blazing speed. You don't need like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just be somewhat mobile in the pocket and only run when you need to, then you're fine.
Exactly.
Like kind of like what an Aaron Rodgers would do. Like he knows. Like I mean, I know you don't like Aaron Rodgers, but
I mean, I don't like him, but I respect him. He's an all-time great quarterback.
Like, would you say like he only runs when he doesn't? He's not a scrambling quarterback. He gets out what he has to do. He does what he needs to do.
Well, yes, but there's other things that have led to his downfall.
I know,
like poor footwork, throwing off your back foot constantly.
Well, he can do that. Darnold's the one that can't do that.
He could do it in the regular season, but then when he gets to the playoffs, besides that one playoff run he had, Rodgers has not done anything in the playoffs.
I don't know. We're never gonna agree on Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, you could blame Mike McCarthy all you want, but I'm gonna stand by that quarterbacks win championships, not coaches.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say in the NFL?
No, that's about it.
That's about it. All right. When we get back, what are we talking about? Are we talking New York?
Oh, we're gonna do New York injury bug. The Yankees
the
and Rangers
Rangers
having massive injuries,
and the Mets as well have had like injuries in the past. I've kind of realized that New York in general is like a hot spot for injuries just recently, and it just kind of stinks.
I mean, maybe that's why we haven't won a championship in years.
Exactly.
I don't know what to tell you.
All right, we'll see you guys when we get back. All right, turn them